Hello, Sarah Klein here. I am going to talk a little bit about why developing a home practice in the tradition of yoga is so important. And I'm going to leave you with 4 tips to get going to start your home practice. Now, let me first say that when we come together in community with intention, there's nothing more potent. This is where we derive our motivation, our inspiration. This is where we get the opportunity to learn together. And this is where we integrate and really take off. So, continuing your studies and going to classes is absolutely important, but we want to have a container that we can unroll our mat anytime, anywhere, and feel empowered to really integrate the practice into our lives. So, first, let's talk about what is practice. Through the lens of the Yoga Sutras, it's often translated as abhyasa, which means to check the downward pull. Now, we could look at that on the gross level as the physical body of checking the downward pull of gravity. Then we take it deeper, where we're checking the downward pull of the mind and the emotions, and we're lifting up our spirit. Now, Patanjali tells us that it is crucial that we check the downward pull with consistent devotion, pure intention over a long period of time. And when we do that, our practice will cultivate firm ground for us to stand on, no matter what's occurring in our lives. And the great promise is the unwavering joy, inner peace, happiness, and stillness. So, why is it so important to develop a home practice? Well, what is yoga? Yoga is stilling the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. It's our ability to self-regulate, and from a biological standpoint, that starts with being able to tone and regulate the nervous system. So, a consistent, devoted practice is that when we go attend a class, we're essentially listening to the instructor's yogas chitta vritti. We're listening to their experience, their breakthroughs, their insights in their practice. And yoga's asking us, again, to take that 100% self-responsibility. So when we practice on our own in silence, we're able to start to discern between what is the context of our mind, what are our self-limiting belief patterns, what are our habits, what is holding us back, how do we talk to ourselves, and we create this clear slate to really witness ourselves. And when we can witness ourselves, we create a bit of a cushion between the movements of the mind and our true self, or our inner peace, stillness, and unwavering joy. So when we develop a home practice, this gives us freedom to unroll the mat anywhere, anytime. We don't necessarily need the studio to get our practice in. That allows us to break through environmental obstacles, or really any obstacle that gets presented and keeps us away from our practice. It also allows us to understand the fundamental aspects of the practice, to really take ownership for the intention of the practice, the why of the practice, the foundation of the practice. So when we develop a home practice, and why it is so incredible is that we are practicing that stillness. We are not following along with somebody else's cues, but we're really following along and witnessing ourselves. We're taking 100% self-responsibility, and we're showing up for ourselves with consistency and devotion over a long period of time. So how? Here's a couple of takeaways that hopefully you can implement now to start unrolling the mat on your own. Number 1, pure intention. What is the objective? Why are you choosing to do this? When you get clear on your intention, that gives you conscious action, and it cultivates a lot of inspiration and motivation to keep going. So Yoga could be thought of as the removal of the poison of conditioned mindless living, where we're just going through the motions and not really thinking of why we're doing what we're doing or why we're saying or behaving the ways that we are. So what is your intention? If you're going to start any practice, practicing soccer, practicing the piano, practicing writing, you got to do it. And in order to do it, get clear on why you're choosing to do it. So number one, on how, clear, pure intention. Then number two, create a space. The space does not have to be very big, but devote one, all it has to be as big as your mat or your yoga, your meditation cushion, one space in your home that is for practice. Then when the time to practice arrives in your schedule, you know exactly where to go. Your 5 sense organs know that space and they pull in quicker. So one space. And then set low-hanging fruit goals. Consistency is far more important than doing the practice twice a week for 2 hours. 5 minutes a day. Low-hanging fruit. So maybe your initial goal is 7 days a week, you are going to step onto your yoga mat and you're going to take one deep breath. Make it obtainable so that you get momentum and motivation from success. So low-hanging fruit, shoot for consistency every single day, one conscious breath. And then what you might find is you step onto the mat, you do one breath, and all of a sudden you start going through the motions. And then your last tip would be follow the breath. Now, I have been established in the Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga lineage. I'm so grateful because I do have a container for what to do. And this is the call to action is to really deepen your studies so that you know what to do on the mat. But if you're watching this video and you're not at that point yet in your practice, then follow your breath. Your breath is the foundation to the practice. Your breath is the access point to presence. And that is ultimately what yoga is. Yoga is about dropping ourselves into the present moment, into the now, and experiencing that state of consciousness. So follow your breath. Now, if you are interested in understanding how to unroll the mat and want to be guided through a lineage-based approach, 2 of my yoga sisters and I, Deb Buck and Kaylee Gifford, have created a 50-hour yoga immersion that is for that. So if you are at the point of really wanting to step outside of the need to attend a class or even watch a class online and are ready to understand the why yoga works, what keeps keeping me coming back, and when I'm in a posture, why is this impacting my nervous system and impacting my perspective in such a way? If those questions you are asking, then this program just might be for you, and we start October 2nd. So I hope that this video inspires you to unroll the mat at home. To quickly review, what is yoga? Yoga is about finding inner peace and inner stillness no matter our circumstances. It is about checking the downward pull of the body, gravity, the mind, and the emotions. And in order to receive the fruits of our labor, we must practice with pure intention, devotion over a long period of time and with consistency. So create a space, get clear on what your intention is, set low-hanging fruit goals so you find success, and follow your breath. All right, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy that home practice. Take care.